Life is all about choices. Some we regret, some we're proud of, and some will definitely haunt us forever. But the message is, we all are who we chose to be. Graham Brown. Well, maybe you aren't satisfied with who you are today. And that's common because 45% of the world's population is currently unhappy with their life. And if you're one of that 45%, I suggest try not to tune out this speech. To begin, life is exactly like a roller coaster, filled with both ups and downs. You can choose to scream at every bump you hit, or simply throw your hands up in the air and enjoy it. The only difference between the two is your choice. So, today I want to talk about something incredibly powerful, something that we all possess but often take for granted, the power of our own choices. Our life is a big series of choices, big and small, from the moment we get up in the morning to the time we lay our heads down at night. We are faced with countless decisions. Some are simple, like deciding what to wear, what to have for breakfast, and others are more significant, like choosing a career path, choosing where to live, determining how we spend our time, and who we spend it with. However, this generation is not making their own choices anymore. This is because they're significantly influenced by internet influencers and friends due to the persuasive nature of social media. Apps like Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube offer powerful platforms for influencers to showcase typical ideals, lifestyles, and products, creating unrealistic standards for their followers. This blend of digital influence and peer pressure fosters a culture where validation is somehow found through likes, shares, and comments. In simpler words, shall we say, this younger generation, or the future, is struggling to overcome any simple obstacles, barriers, or limitations that may stumble into their life just because they're relying on their family, friends, and influencers to make all the simple decisions for them. Not only in this generation are we losing individuality, but we are lacking diversity, as everyone is striving to be the exact same person by wearing the same clothing or participating in dangerous trends. So, is following somebody else's path, somebody else's decisions, really the right thing to do? No. So you might be thinking, how is making our own choices breaking any barriers? Well, that's because a majority of us do interpret breaking barriers as breaking societal norms or challenging stereotypes. But if you take a step back, you can easily realize as an individual, we have our own limitations, our own barriers, our own walls to break. And if we make our own choices, we can advocate for change, we can challenge societal norms, and we can pave a new path for possibilities. Because the first step to breaking any barrier is making your own choices. Additionally, a majority of this world's population likes to label themselves as indecisive or unable to make choices. But is that really the case? No. They're just having a difficulty making hard choices. For example, in a choice, you're given two alternatives. In an easy choice, one outweighs the other, so you know which one to choose. But in a hard choice, both are close to equal because their values and benefits are close to equal, and that's what makes it hard. So you might be asking, how do you make a hard choice? Well, let me give you a personal illustration. It was about the middle of 8th grade, and I had two upcoming competitions, a dance competition and a debate tournament. I spent the entire year rigorously preparing for both of these, and about a month before both of them, I realized they were on the exact same day. Every day I would ponder on which competition not to attend, and the more I thought about the actual decision, the more difficult the choice became. So then, I've decided to write a list of pros and cons, and figure out which one actually had more benefits. And eventually, I was able to come to a conclusion. But if I let my parents, friends, or family make that decision for me, and the outcome of the competition wasn't that great, I would deeply regret it. But since I made the choice myself, I took complete responsibility. So, in simpler words, how do you make a hard choice? First, take a step back and assess both alternatives. 2, weigh which one actually has more pros and cons, and which ones would actually have more benefits. And 3, the most important one, make the choice yourself. To sum it up, the choices you make today are going to impact your life tomorrow. So do you really want somebody else making them for you? Do you really want somebody else writing your story? Probably not. So now if you realize why you're unsatisfied with your life, unsatisfied with who you are, maybe it's because you're letting somebody else making your choice. So next time, make it yourself. Thank you.